Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Just give me 2 3 minutes so that setup has been done. Then we will start the class. So basically, when we talk about the CLAT examination, so first important thing is that the CLAT is a very prestigious examination, and current affair and the preparation in the legal aptitude plays a very important role in it. Without current affair and the GK, you cannot clear the examination, so that you should remember it. So today in this class, basically we will learn about how to prepare for the current affair and GK section for your CLAT 2021, or you can say 2022 also, because those who are appearing in the class 11, they will definitely give the examination in the next year. So this is the live streaming in the YouTube. So you can use the comment box also if you have any doubt or any query. So I will be happy to answer it. So you have to learn it. Now moving to our first slide. The first slide is basically your how to prepare and what you should read in the current affairs section if you are preparing for the GK and the CLAT. So basically you should know it, what you should prepare it, or what you should know about the current affairs and what you should ignore it. Ignoring is very important with respect to the CLAT examination, क्योंकि current affairs तो it is like a ocean. You can read everything, but it will never be finished. So your preparation should be very focused. And the second thing is that you should always follow the pattern. What is the latest pattern of the examination and what changes recently has been done in the CLAT entrance. So as we know, in 2020 CLAT has come up with a new pattern. So all the questions which are coming in your examination are based on the comprehension. If you are not good in reading the comprehension, so you will definitely not able to clear the exam. So when we talk about the comprehension, so basically you should have a practice of reading about 2000 to 3000 words in a one go. And important thing is that you are also able to make the inference out of the passage. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ पैसेज पढ़ लिया, जो भी उसका क्रक्स है और जो भी उसका इन्फ्रेंस है, that you should also know it. That is the point. Now we will move to the first slide, what is basically legal reasoning is demanding to you. So this is the first slide of the legal reasoning. Legal reasoning section is basically having a passage of 450 words. So whenever you are reading a 450 words and on a one go you are able to understand what passage you want to say it or what passage want to deliver it, then only you will able to solve the questions. आप खुद सोचिए कि अगर 450 वर्ड्स आप पढ़ रहे हो and if you are able to do it, so your all the 5 questions or 6 questions or 4 questions will be definitely right. That is the point. So whenever you read it, whenever you are reading the comprehension, you should basically develop a mindset कि what the passage is wanting to say and what are the fact of the passages and what message it want to deliver. Second point is that you should also develop a critical thinking. It is not about the reading the passages. You should know it. You should able to critically analyze the passage, because questions are never direct in the passages also. The questions are sometimes based on the passage or sometimes the questions are on the inference basis. Inference means the hidden meaning, what the passage want to convey. पैसेज में दिया है कि बहुत अच्छी अच्छी लाइंस लिखी हैं, बट at the end of the day at the end of the passage what it want to convey, that is really a very important point. that you should keep in the mind. Second thing is that the passage is of 450 word to 500 words, and it is not a single passage. There are around 8 to 10 passages also, sometimes it is 15 passages. So you should develop a reading habit, and reading habit will only develop when you read a newspaper. So newspaper is very important when we talk about the CLAT entrance or any of the entrance, whether it is due entrance or IELTS entrance. All the examinations are very prestigious. So when you are reading a newspaper, you do not need to read the everything of the newspaper, because newspaper is a chunk of knowledge and it is all scattered. Whenever you read a newspaper, you should develop a perspective कि you are reading a newspaper for a CLAT examination, DU examination, IELTS examination or any of the examination. And one important thing you should remember while reading the newspaper is for all. Newspaper, if you are reading a Indian Express, so Indian Express is for businessmen also, Indian Express is for politician also, and Indian Express is also for the aspirant who are giving the examination and whatever examination you are giving. So just try to know it, what you have to read it and what you have to ignore it. That is the very important point, and that we will learn only in the Unacademy classes which I am taking it. We are in the classes, we are also having a newspaper discussion. So I always try to teach you that what you should cover in the newspaper and how you can relate it to the current affairs, because newspaper tells you what is the current scenario and what is the future scenario. Without the reading newspaper you cannot predict it कि what tomorrow is going to happen. आपको सभी को मालूम है, अगर आप क्लैट की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो या किसी भी एग्ज़ाम की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो, तो जो आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली है कि CLAT is postponed, it is only due to the newspaper. So remember it, newspaper is having a very importance in your life, and read it properly according to your syllabus. Just keep your syllabus aside, you can keep, and before starting any preparation or reading anything, you should know the syllabus of the CLAT also, क्योंकि अगर आपको syllabus ही नहीं पता है तो then it will be a very difficult. You will, who are freshers who are joining the classes, it will be very difficult for them if you do not know the syllabus and you are start reading the newspaper and आपने कभी न्यूज़पेपर पहले नहीं पढ़ा है, तो it will create a problem for you. Second point is that the questions following the passages will require the candidate to identify and infer the rules. जैसा मैंने कहा कि inference बहुत ही important है पैसेज सॉल्व करने के लिए, and the principles and the facts which are coming out of the passages, that you should basically try to apply in your passages. Now we will move to our next slide. Next slide is your how to solve the legal reasoning question in the CLAT. The question that follow the passage given in the section require you to identify and infer the rules and the principle mentioned in the passage, apply such rules and the principle to such facts, situations, and understand how changes to the rules or the principles may alter their application to their various fact and the situations. तो जब भी आप पैसेज पढ़ो तो you should able to know how you can apply in the questions. There are basically those who are solving passages in the competition examination. They basically follow two type of strategy. First strategy is that some students always try to read the question first and then they approach to the passage, and the second strategy is that you can read the first passage and then you can approach the question and answers. So it is up to you whether you want to approach the question first or the passage first. But the thing is that the question should be right. It never matters कि you are reading the passage first or the question, but at the end of the day your question and answer should be right and only that will matter. तो आपके आंसर उसमें जो भी आप करो वही सही होना चाहिए, बाकी आप जैसे चाहो वैसे पढ़ो, चाहे कुछ भी करो. चलिए हम लोग नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे चलते हैं. Second important thing is that you will have to demonstrate your comprehension and language skills, including the abilities. Understand and comprehend the main objective of the passage, include the viewpoint discussed. मतलब जो भी व्यू पॉइंट्स हैं आपके, जैसे पैसेज है, मान लीजिए कोई इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस पे पैसेज है, सो उसमें व्यू पॉइंट्स बहुत सारे राइटर्स के हो सकते हैं. हो सकता है वो पैसेज में मेंशन किया गया हो, और या ये भी हो सकता है कि वो आपसे चाहें कि आप उन व्यू पॉइंट्स को प्रेजेंट करो या क्वेश्चन में ऐसा दे दें कि हाउ विच इज़ द रॉन्ग आंसर, और दे वांट दैट you should judge critically what the passage want to say. That skills you have to develop over the time. It is not easy to develop it, but if you practice it you will definitely able to solve the questions. Second important point is that you should able to derive the conclusions as well as the inferences based on the comprehension. This is the very important point, and this is basically can be developed only when you are practicing a lot of passages and able to know where you are doing the wrong. Third point is that you are able to create an excerpt of the passage in your mind. Whenever you are reading the passage, the story should be in your mind कि what the author or what the writer want to convey in that passage, and then only you can able to write, you can solve the questions. Fourth point is that bring you out the contrast and the comprehensions between the various arguments derived from the passage. This is the very important point. And the last point is that comprehend the meaning of the various words and the phrases included in the passage. बहुत सारे phrases और words यूज़ किए जाते हैं, तो आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि उन phrases और words की क्या meaning है और क्या उसका context है. It is very important कि जो भी phrase है वो किस context में कहा जा रहा है. It is either it is positive or negative or it is neutral. You should know it, and it can be only developed when you are reading a lot of passages and develop your thinking over the time. Now we will move to the next point, or you can say next slide. This is the first topic of your when you are reading the legal aptitude or GK or whatever you are preparing for. Without the constitutional law, you cannot cover any of the syllabus. If you want to comment, you can use the YouTube channel and you can comment also. It will be visible to me. First point is that constitutional law. It is the most important part of your syllabus whenever you are preparing for CLAT or DULLB or IELTS. Without the constitutional law, you cannot clear it. And the constitutional law is the most interesting subject which is in your syllabus. So basically it will also help you out in your future also. What are your fundamental rights, what is the difference between the fundamental rights and the directive principles, what is Council of Ministers, what is Governor, what is Supreme Court. So these all things you will learn when you attend the classes of the Unacademy, or you can join the course also. There are different batches going on, and today only I am launching one course on the law of torts and the legal current affairs. So you can join that also, and different crash courses are also going on, so that you can join it. Second important topic is your jurisprudence. Jurisprudence is basically like a philosophy. It basically analyze what is the difference between the sociology, or you can say it basically tells you what the learned man who have developed the thinking over the period of the time, what is the thinking of them, and what should be the future course of the law. So it is like a philosophy, and it is a very interesting subject, and it will be also covered in your classes in a deep. And definitely the passage comes from jurisprudence as well, because without the jurisprudence you cannot expect that any question will be formed. Now we will move to the next slide. These are the frequently asked questions, and first question is this CLAT syllabus is same for the LLB and the LLM? So that is, it is not possible, because LLB is your UG course and LLM is your PG course. So whenever you are writing a LLM, so it will cover, it requires the knowledge of the LLB as well. You should know what is IPC, CRPC, what is order, what is rule. So that all the knowledges they required, what is the difference between the contract and the criminal law, what is the difference between the contract and the tort, that all things are required when you are appearing for the LLM, and the knowledge is very deep when you are giving the entrance of the LLM. But whenever you are preparing for the LLB, you are just a 12th pass out, so you should have a knowledge but not so deep as required in the LLM. So this is a myth that the syllabus of the UG and the PG are same. It is totally different. Second question is that how many sections are there in the CLAT UG exam? So this basically there are 5 sections. First section is your English, second is your mathematics, third section is your GK and the current affairs, fourth section is your logical reasoning, and the last section is your legal aptitude. So in the Unacademy, basically I am teaching about the general knowledge and the current affairs and the legal aptitude. Both things I am covering. So you can join my classes. And last question is that is there any change in the CLAT 2021 syllabus? ये क्वेश्चन बहुत लोगों से पूछा गया है कि क्या सिलेबस चेंज होने वाला है, और what are the changes happening in the 2021, because confusion is always arising in the students कि what will happen to the examination. So I want to clear the doubt that there is no change in the syllabus, and the subjects in the CLAT are the same. It is first is your quantitative techniques, second is your logical reasoning, third is your English language, fourth is your current affairs, and last is your legal reasoning. But the important thing is that all the questions are not in a direct form, all the questions are in the form of comprehension. That you should keep it in mind कि जो भी क्वेश्चंस आएंगे वो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन फॉर्म में आएंगे, कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि कोई भी आपको डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन मिल जाए. So this is the third topic which is covered under the your CLAT examination, that is contract. So whenever you are studying about the contract law, you should know what is the different type of the contract, and that we will learn in our classes. And so it requires the basic knowledge of the contract law, what contract is, and what is the difference between the contract law and the criminal law, what is the difference between the civil law and the criminal law, or you can say what is the difference between the contract and the tort. That all the differences you know, because जो आपका examination है, you are appearing for law examination, so they expect it that at least you have a basic knowledge. Fourth topic is your criminal law. Criminal law is basically derived from there are two sources, one is your IPC and the CRPC. So we will cover the basic topics of the IPC as well as the CRPC. That is also required, and it requires the aptitude, how you are solving the criminal law, and what is mens rea, what is actus rea. That all things are required, that you are understanding it, and your understanding should be well. It should be a practical understanding. ऐसे आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं करनी है कि इट इज़ ए थ्योरेटिकल थिंग, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन जो भी आ रहे हैं इट इज़ ऑल बेस्ड ऑन द कॉम्प्रिहेंशन एंड इट इज़ ऑल a live examples. The comprehensions are taken from the newspaper, journals, and from different sources. So that's why whenever you are reading it, criminal law, contract law, jurisprudence, or whatever it is, just try to be a practical and think about the questions, how the questions can be designed. So while preparing for the GK, that is the very important point, ki what you should read in the GK, because GK is very vast. It's like a ocean. You cannot cover everything, and you have to choose it. The important thing is that ki what you are choosing, and that is coming in the examination. That is the main point. This is the next slide. I think all are able to see it. First is that in GK topic what should be covered. The first is your contemporary events of significance from India and the world. अगर मान लीजिए कोरोना हुआ, so where it is originated, what is the vaccine, how many types of vaccines are available in the India, how many strains are there, and how it will change the Indian economy as well as the world economy. So that you should all know it, and you can develop different viewpoints also, ki what different viewpoints can come in on examination. So that way you should read the newspaper as well as the current affairs. Second is your art and culture. So art and culture is a very vast thing, but you should remember the some small important places like Khajuraho, or you can say many historical places are there all over countries, and everyone has a significance. So you should remember those places also, like where is Hampi and where is Khajuraho, and what is the importance of Rewa, what is the importance of Lucknow, or you can say Awadh. That you should develop over the time. Third point is your international affairs. So whenever you are reading the international affairs, always keep your mind with respect to the India, because you are giving the examination in the India. So always develop that whenever you are reading international affairs, it should be with respect to the Indian international affairs. Ki what is the Indian relation with the USA, or what is the relations between the India and China, and why there are strains in the Indian and Pakistan relations. That you should all know it, what is the history behind it, and what is the future course of it. That all things you should remember it. And the last point is that historical events of continuing significance, कि कोई भी historical event हुआ और वो अभी भी चलता हुआ आ रहा है, and what is the future course, you do not know it, that you should also remember it. The perfect example of the historical event is India Pakistan partition. The partition has been done in 1947, but still we are having the strains with our foreign countries, and why they are strains, and you should know it, and what is the future course of it, or how we can resolve it. So ये सब चीज़ें जो आपकी thinking process है, that will be developed over the time, and it can be developed by the newspaper only. You cannot learn everything from the current affair magazines or booklets. It only gives you the factual thing, कि what is the fact and what is the capital of Pakistan they can provide you, and but not a proper holistic knowledge that is required in your examination. Moving to the next slide. The next slide says that in after the 2017 के बाद CLAT ने पैटर्न अपना काफ़ी चेंज किया है, तो इसको आप ध्यान रखिएगा. So important thing is that after the 2017 the pattern has been changed. It is not a sole current affairs, or you can say sole aptitude. The thing is that there is 30 to 35 question from the current affairs. So current affairs is having a very high importance in the examination, and if there are 150 questions and if there are 35 questions coming from the current affairs, so you can guess it how much important it is. So question pattern is based on the comprehension, and each passage is based on the economics, political, law, social issues. So try to solve it, try to link it. If you are not having a basic knowledge of the constitutional law, it will be very difficult for you to solve the passages, because if you do not know who is the guardian of the constitution and the passage is on the guardian of the constitution, you will be not able to solve it. So answer of the guardian of our constitution is Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the guardian. तो ऐसे ही चीज़ों को आपको लिंक करना है. फर्स्ट यू हैव टू डेवलप द बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, and then only you have to solve the questions. Without the understanding you cannot solve it. Now what you should remember it while solving the questions. Moving to our next slide. I think it is visible, or if it is not visible, in 1-2 seconds it will be visible. First point is that this section is the quickest to solve, or you can say current affairs. Actually right now we are talking about current affairs. The section is quickest to solve and it carries the most marks. So that is the very important thing about the current affairs and the legal reasoning. It is the one of the most scoring part. If you are able to solve it, then you are definitely able to crack the examination in your one go. Second point is that the total time it should take for average aspirant is anywhere between 8 to 12 minutes. मतलब अगर आप इसको जल्दी से सॉल्व कर लेते हो, then you can spend rest of your time in your maths, or you can say some quant also, or you can say some English comprehension also. So this is the very useful for other topic also, that you are able to spend more time there. Third point is that it helps to pacify the otherwise lack of time for solving other section of paper. जैसा मैंने पहले ही डिस्कस किया कि it is basically saving your time, and you can save your time for the other topics. And the last point is that with proper preparation, aspirant should aim to score anywhere between 28 to 32 marks in the section to have competitive edge. If you are making right answers in your GK, definitely you will have edge over the other sections, and you will definitely get whatever college you are thinking to get in. This is the point, and it is of high relevant of the GK and the current affairs is of high, and without GK and the comprehensions you cannot crack it. you will not get a good NLU. If you are thinking to get into the NLU Delhi or Bangalore or Hyderabad, so definitely you have to make good scores in the legal aptitude as well as GK. Now we will move to our next slide. The next slide says how to prepare for current affairs and the GK. This is the very common question has been asked from different students. How to prepare for the current affairs and the GK. I think you are able to see the slide. There are few things which an aspirant should keep in the mind while preparing for the section. First is your discipline. The biggest factor preparing for the GK is discipline. You cannot leave out 3 weeks for preparation and hope to cover it up. And remember, the syllabus is already the size of a mountain. Keep a slow and steady pace throughout your preparation. That is the important thing कि आपकी जो preparation है उसको slow रखिए and it should be in pace. It should not be like that you are skipping the newspaper for a 1 week and you are thinking that I will cover the newspaper of 1 week in a one go. It cannot be possible because every news is interlinkage. There is interlinkage of the news and you cannot think it in future course you can cover all the previous month's newspaper, because the things will be piled up and you will be not able to cover it. Moving to our next point. The next point is your yearbook. So all these yearbooks have the same content. Good. That means that the content is important and you have to go through them. Studying yearbook is very important, or not only does it contain the important event of the past year, it also helps you to prepare for the static GK and both from the same book. मतलब जो भी static GK है that will be covered from your yearbook, and yearbook is like a very bulky book, and basically in our classes we will cover the yearbook. You have to not read everything of the yearbook. You have to read the selected articles, or you can say selected topics that we will discuss in your class. ठीक है, चलिए हम लोग नेक्स्ट पॉइंट पे चलते हैं. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज योर न्यूज़पेपर. मेक इट अ हैबिट टू रीड द न्यूज़ एवरी मॉर्निंग, और इफ यू आर ए नाइट पर्सन you can read the newspaper at evening also. It is up to you. Second point is that while you are reading the editorial section, read it and remember it, or you can say it. If the editorial section is of 2000 words, so you should try to write it, or you can comprehend it in a 50 to 60 word. Then you are able to understand the editorial section. Thing is that you have to squeeze the things. You do not have to expand the things. In your examination, your passage is of 400 to 500 words, and from the 400 to 500 words, the question is of only 30 words. So that's why I am saying that whenever you read the editorial, you should squeeze the things, not expand it. And always try to read the quality newspaper. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कोई भी न्यूज़पेपर उठा रहे हो, चाहे वो हिंदी का हो, और हिंदी के न्यूज़पेपर में भी बहुत से ऐसे सेक्शन होते हैं, और हिंदी के न्यूज़पेपर आपको पढ़ने की ज़रूरत भी नहीं है क्योंकि एग्ज़ामिनेशन आपका इंग्लिश में है. सो दैट्स वाई यू शुड रीड इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, हिंदू और टेलीग्राफ. बट आई विल रिकमेंड you that you should read the Indian Express. In the Indian Express, there is one section known as Explained. That is a very good section. You can read it. Now we will move to our next slide. Next point is that notes making. Always try to make the notes and try to revise it. Try to revise it every time before the class and after the class also. That is very important point. just read the slide. Important point is that revision is having a great importance. Whenever you read the GK, just try to remember it, whatever you have covered. At end of the month, you should revise all the portion of the GK. Now we will move to our next point. These points you should remember it. Try to read it and remember it also. It will be shortly live in your slides, or you can say YouTube. First important key point is that watching an hour of news daily to know about the daily events. Please do not waste your time in the prime time debates. Instead, for GK, you can watch Doordarshan or All India News. Doordarshan News and the All India Radio News. These are the two government channels, and the question papers is also formed by the government agencies only. Just इस बात को आप ध्यान रखिएगा, जो भी आपका क्वेश्चन पेपर है वो गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसीज ही बना रही हैं, कोई NDTV या आज तक या रिपब्लिक टीवी के लोग नहीं बना रहे हैं. तो दैट इज़ जस्ट ए वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम. सो प्राइम टाइम डिबेट्स आर ऑफ नो यूज़. इफ़ यू वांट टू know about the debates, so very good speakers are coming in the Doordarshan as well as in the All India Radio or the Rajya Sabha TV. You can watch them and it will be more fruitful and it will be more useful also if you are reading those channels, or you are viewing those channels. It will solve your purpose also, and there will be a peace of mind also. That is of very importance right now also and during your examination also, कि there is peace of mind. But I will suggest you don't view the private channels. They have their own agendas, but Doordarshan and All India radios have no agendas, and they are showing the news which are of great importance. Second point is that a thorough reading of a good national daily is highly advised, and that notes can be maintained for each day. You can write some notes if you want, but the important thing is that your note should not be a bulky. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप पूरा न्यूज़पेपर ही कॉपी पेस्ट कर रहे हो. That is not at all required. If newspaper you are reading and if you are thinking it is relevant with respect to your syllabus, just write it down in a 1 page or 2 page. That is more than enough, because at the end of the day you will have a 60 pages like that, and at the end of the year you have a 600 pages and you have to revise it also. So just don't copy paste it, and it is not required for your examination. Third point is that while reading, the special attention to the editorial section, since they are based on the current affairs, and polish your vocabulary of the candidate. If you are reading the editorials and if you do not know any meaning of the words, because there are many jargons of the words, so you can basically use the dictionary, or you can use the online sources also, like Merriam-Webster is a very good dictionary, or you can use the Google also. So you can basically get the knowledge about the current affairs as well as the GK also. Fourth point is that one magazine like Competition in Focus or Outlook can be referred on a monthly basis. You can buy it and purchase it also. So it is like a compiled form. मान लीजिए आपने current affairs पढ़ा or you miss some current affairs, so you can read that magazines also. Next point is that make a bullet point whenever required. Don't use paragraph, because paragraph is of reading a lot of thing in a one go, and that is not at all required. Make a bullet point and note it and revise it. And the last point for your preparation is that make a stable preparation. It should not be in haphazard way, that you are studying for 8 to 10 hours in a day and for rest of the week you are not studying at all. If you are studying 2 to 3 hours a daily, that is more than enough, or you can say to clear the examination, because you can calculate it very easily. If you are studying 4 hours daily, and in 7 days it will be 28 hours. But if you are studying 10 hours a day and rest of the week you are not studying, so it is only a 10 hour, and you will forget also at end of the week. That is not at all required. I think I have covered all the portion, how you should prepare for the current affairs and the GK and for your examination as well. If you have any doubt or any problem, you can come in my classes which are happening in the Unacademy. There are free classes as well as the batches also which are going on, so you can join them and it will be really helpful to you. So if you have any doubt, any query, you can reach me in the Unacademy platform. My username ID is yes0208. So yes0208, you will search it, you will get to know, and you will see all my classes as well. So point is that you can come in the classes, you can attend the batches. There are different batches, all the top educators are teaching you in the different modes. You can get the notes as well, you can get printed materials, or there are various live quizzes also. So in one platform you will get the everything. And today only there is one batch on the law of torts which I am going to start. It is for the plus course. Whoever want to join the plus course, you can use my referral code. My referral code is yes0208. I will repeat again, yes0208. This is my referral code for the plus classes. So you can join it and you can subscribe it also. You can like my page in the Unacademy, and after liking the page you will get all my schedules. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक ही दिन क्लास है. Class every day there are different classes going on. Some classes are on the special and some classes are on the plus as well. So special classes are your free classes, but it is scattered, but knowledge is same. The thing is that plus is a classes in which there is a holistic approach. I am preparing a course, so it will cover everything, but in the special classes there is a topic wise things which are available. You can also add me in the Unacademy CLAT group. There is one CLAT group going on in the Unacademy, or you can say in the Telegram में एक पेज है Unacademy का, so you can subscribe it. There is one page of my also in Telegram that you can follow it. I am posting the daily current affairs and different topics, whatever it is relevant, because for the current affairs you do not have to read everything. Only who have appeared the exam or who have cleared the exam, that person can guide you better what is required for the examination and what is not required for your examination. So that's it for the class, and right now at 1 p.m. I will be live in Unacademy platform with the class on the special class, so you can attend it and we can learn a lot there in that platform. Thank you so much.